Hi everyone, it's Lillian, the Postmodern Mom, and welcome to my makeup monologue. Today is a Monday, so because of the alliteration of a Monday Makeup Monologue, we're going to talk about something a little bit deeper. Today I'm going to talk about what is the purpose of higher education for women. Sorry guys, it's really hot. I feel very hot and uncomfortable. I'll put this on. I had spent the weekend with some friends who have children around the age of teenage years of thinking about what to do for college and university. And one of the topics, she just kept thinking and talking about what is she going to do? What's her plan? She doesn't even feel like she knows exactly what major, and she feels like she's too young to even decide right now what major she wants to go into, because that's, going to determine the rest of her career life. And that's one of the problems, the differences I think between American education and the British education is that you seem to have to choose really early if you want to go into anything like being a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer. You have to choose early those kinds of occupations. If that was the case for us, Felipe would have not been an engineer today. He would have just probably, I don't even know what he would have done, because he was in a fine arts music school for the longest time. I'm still using this. And he didn't decide to go into engineering until he went to university. So until he was 18 years old is when he decided. And thank goodness he did, because it's a very rocky life being a musician full-time, and it's been a lot more stable life for us since he's an engineer. Anyway, she was just thinking and thinking, and her father encouraged her, you don't have to take the exact career path that everyone else does here, which is go to college, pick a major, go to university, get a job. He said you don't have to. Some people take a year off and they travel or they do missionary work, and that's good too. But it still didn't hit the thing that I felt like was the difference between men and women. And later on, after talking a lot about what she wanted to do and etc., she said, all I really want to do is be a mother and have children and raise a family. And so she felt like she really doesn't want to be wasting money on going to a university that maybe doesn't even teach her values, or that even draws her away from God, which would be, she said that would be horrible to be paying for something like an institution like that. And so she was looking at Christian institutions, like Christian universities, and how rare it seemed to be here in the UK. We'll have to look into it more. But then I thought, man, if a woman if she wants to be a mother and not worried about finding that quote-unquote career, and what is that path? What is the right path for a lady, a girl, who wants to be a mother and not worry about making money full-time? And I think the modern age would look at her and say, there's something wrong with you. You don't want to be oppressed. You need to be independent. You need to have a career so that you are making your own money, and that'll keep you safe from abuse, etc. And I wish we lived in a world where it was different and it wasn't like this, because I feel like it's ruined a lot of women. I think a lot of women, and there are these unfortunate photos of women before they were feminist and then after they were feminist, and you can see the transformation in their physical appearance. And then the physical appearance is a reflection of the inside, not necessarily all the time, but this generally, like if you take good care of your body, then it usually means that you are a bit more orderly with your life, etc. And all of these women had, crazy haircuts and tattoos and piercings on their face and things like that. That was a bit sad, but not to say that everyone who has those is disorderly, but there's an element to it. But anyway, I thought, man, it would be great if we had finishing school that was an option for girls, that wasn't something you would have to pay for, because finishing school is kind of like a way to teach women to be feminine women, feminine ladies. And I thought that would be a nice option, because not every woman wants to be a career woman, and you shouldn't be forced into that. Like, that's the way the system is right now, and there's really no other path other than pursuing a career. So, I don't really have an answer in terms of what is the next step for someone who wants to find a husband and raise a family, but Felipe's first answer was like, matchmaking. And we've been really thinking more and more about this idea of matchmaking. So we had watched Indian Matchmaker with Seema Taparia from Mumbai, and really loved it because she's a bit more traditional, and she talks about how marriage is a union of two families, etc., etc. But because she's for the Indians, I was like, what about for the other people? What about for traditional families that want to get married, their children to marry into traditional families who don't look down upon a woman who wants to be a mother primarily and not primarily a careerist? So I've been thinking a lot about this matchmaking thing. But so what is the way forward for a young girl of 15, 16? I think, since college I think here is paid for, I think I would choose a career path that would be very useful in the home. So I think nursing, health, it could be into the educational aspect, like languages, because you can teach your children foreign languages like French or Italian or Spanish or Latin or Greek. It could be biblical Greek, that would be really cool, or Hebrew. I just pinched my eye, which is why my eye is now watering. Don't do that. Okay. And I think those paths are fine to get the education. I think it should be very useful, a useful kind of major, not something that is not so useful in the context of being a stay-at-home mother. And then of course you could go down the rest of the path. If you don't end up meeting anyone and you don't get married, then you have some skills that you've gained from college and from that accreditation to get a job with. But yeah, like something as stable as accounting would be good, I think, because it's always in demand, and you need it. I think it helps you with making sure you keep good records, and how to handle money and finances, because that's also a part, I think it's a part of a stay-at-home mother and wife's job, is to understand finances and how to budget and report taxes and things like that. That doesn't have to rest on the shoulders of the husband only. A woman can definitely be involved in that process. But I just pity the people who desire a stay-at-home lifestyle, a housewife lifestyle, and they feel like they're being outcast, ostracized, because their desire is not to have that outside of the house career. I love that someone was talking about how, well, Jordan Peterson was talking about career, and he was saying how only 2% of the population actually have a career. Everyone else has jobs. And I thought that was really interesting to think about it like that, because the fact that women are all about their quote-unquote careers, but then when they actually get a job and they're working, they realize, actually, I don't really like this, and I would rather stay home. But they've spent money and time getting those jobs that they feel like it's too much of an investment to waste at that point. And then that's like for like the really woke, not really woke, but anti-woke, I guess, people who actually question the narrative of women have to work and have children at the same time. And I don't know if I want to put my wings on today. Like I said, it's just hot. Not feeling so good. So yeah, here's my Monday makeup monologue. What is the role of a woman and what's the point of higher education? I think if you can get higher education without taking out a huge loan, if you can get it for free, if you're on scholarship, do it. You know, you'll meet people, you might meet your husband, but I wouldn't make it the focus of my life. The focus of the future is not a career outside the home. I would love it if the younger girls of today were taught that the calling of being a stay-at-home wife and mother is a great thing, is an honorable thing, and should very, very well be sought after, and not let this career mentality get in the way all the time. My Poundland matte lip. I think I got outside my lip here. Can't really tell. My lip line is not very obvious. How do I look? I would love to read your comments. What are your thoughts on this? You know, do you think that I'm totally brainwashed to think that a girl should not feel like they're pushed into a career? And if you have a great suggestion for advice for people who see themselves as staying at home and being a mother, what kind of process do you think is good for her to get on? What kind of path? What, if you know of any good Christian universities or any good majors that you could major in college that would help that eventuality of being a stay-at-home mother and housewife. All of these things, I encourage your comments, and I hope to catch you next time for another makeup monologue. Thanks for watching. Bye! I think there's such a joy in keeping a good home, in watching your children grow up, in cooking and cleaning and supporting your husband.